Hello, everyone. Oh my god, it has been a long time, guys. It has been I have really been on airplane mode in a way, at least concerning this podcast. I have been completely away and I have nothing to say about that other than life happens. And that is my authentic way of approaching this. But I am back and I've been wanting to come back, and there's no day that I have not been thinking about, oh my god, the podcast. What am I gonna do about it? Where am I gonna take it? What's gonna happen with this changing world and my changing life? And, you know, podcast was there just sitting, waiting for me to come back. And I was just checking my stats, and I'm very happy to see that the podcast has been being listened by a few humans here and there, and that's very surprising to me because I've literally been completely gone from the administration and the creation of this podcast. And but I have not ever been away from creativity. And I have been really thinking about where am I going to take this project, as for the ones that have been with the journey to creativity from its very start, from its very beginning. It started as an experiment, and it started with, a motivation to just put some inspiration out there that was springing from a true fire that started within me, within my heart, within my being, to just let go of all shame, let go of all fears, and just become not fearless, but more fierce in being more authentic and more true to myself. And I started reading a few books, and which inspired me incredibly, and I wanted to share this with more people because I was like, how many of you out there are just craving to be a writer, be a photographer, be a dancer, be a guitar player, be a singer, be a writer, poet, be a rapper, be a producer, be a piano player, be a cook, be a community leader, be a business creator, be someone that changes, that makes change, that makes a difference in this world in one way or another. How many of you out there have these crazy ideas that your heart is calling you towards, but there are all these buts and all these fears in between you and your dream? And I just had to do something about this. And that's why I started this podcast. And I haven't actually heard a lot about you guys, you who are listening to my voice, which is just funny. It's like I'm not quite sure who is out there listening. My stats of the podcast are not very specific, so I just have very general ideas of amounts of plays and amounts of downloads, and I have like a general idea of which countries, and that's it. I don't really know who you guys are. So please get in touch. There is the Instagram. It's very easy to find. The Journey to Creativity. It's like no big deal with the handle. Same with the Facebook page. It's just The Journey to Creativity. Also no big deal. It's easy to find. You can leave comments on, I'm pretty sure on iTunes, you can like, you can rate the podcast, but you can also leave comments. I'm pretty sure you can leave comments. Oh, it's also on YouTube. You can also leave me a comment on an episode that you liked, which I would be very grateful for. And the reason I'm saying this is not to get, likes and stuff. It's more to really know you. I want to know what is going on with you. Why are you listening? And what are you looking for in this place? Which I am open, very, very open at this moment to experimenting with this. I was even changing, sorry, I was thinking of changing the name, but then I realized how much of a hassle it would be. It would be like, it's all this work that I did to set everything up with the journey to creativity here and there. And so, yeah, I might keep it. And also, whatever, it's not the biggest and most important thing what the name of this podcast is, but more what matters more is what the content is. And these times, guys, like, what a year. I really want to know how your lives, where your lives are at. If you feel like sharing, if you want to keep it more private, you can also just send me an email, and not make it a public comment. You can send me an email to, this is not as obvious, but still it's pretty easy. You can write me to creatively meaningful, all together, no dots or stuff, anything in between, just creatively meaningful, at gmail.com. By the way, that is also my personal Instagram handle. It's creatively _ meaningful. And you can find me personally there on Instagram. And yeah, let's talk. Like, I would also like to, for anyone that listens on time, well, I will plan this ahead of time. But I would like to organize a group Zoom call, so we can, because Zoom became like, bread and butter on 2020. So everyone has become familiar with it. No, I'm not. Okay, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people became more comfortable with these, what used to be so awkward before. Now it's just what it is. It's become part of our lives. So interesting. I would love to do a Zoom call with whoever is interested in just like getting to know each other, getting to know ourselves, as a community, as a tribe. We are. Oh, by the way, I'm recording at home, and so there can be a few sounds here and there. I will try to reduce with the EQ as much as I can, but yeah, this apartment is really paper thin walls, so you might hear here and there a few stuff around. So I hope that's okay. It doesn't disturb your peace of mind. But yeah, I will be publishing most likely on Instagram and Facebook when the time comes, when I decide this is a good time to do this. As you all know, I'm an astrologer. Well, not you all know. If you don't know, and if you're just appearing here for the first time in this podcast, this is a passion project for me. It's something that is just important to me, and I still have no clue where am I taking this, although I am in conversations with a friend, one of my guests actually to this podcast, Christiane. We are in conversations of starting a few workshops in order to, help you find or unlock or somehow release a few blocks, a few fears in your creative journey. And many times it's just so good to have the support to do that, because as an artist, we are, and just stuff that I've talked about in this podcast in previous episodes, as artists, we're just literally, or let me say, word it again, our artist self, which I believe personally is in every single human being, everyone has an artist self, which is your inner child, right? Which is all they want, our inner childs, what they want is to play. And, to play, you need to really feel safe. And it's beyond physical safety, it's actually emotional safety, what we need. And we need to know that we won't be laughed at. We need to know that we won't be mocked, that we won't be pointed at for what we thought was cool to create, or the idea that came from our hearts and that we just voiced it because we felt safe. Many times that trust has been thwarted or has been affected in an early age, from an early age, and in school or even later in life, if you say you have been voicing out your ideas, you've been showing your art to people, and they've been having reactions to you that you didn't expect, which is everyone has a right to react and to feel however they want to feel about your art and your ideas, but that affects your inner child. So we need safe spaces to develop, and we need safe spaces to grow, and we need support, and we need encouragement. That's what our inner childs need. And this is it's a very big subject. Well, this is what this podcast is all about. And so there might be a few, here and there projects, ideas that we'll be sharing. And we are so excited because Chris, there's a few episodes back. If you scroll through the episodes, I think it's 15 or 14. I think it's episode 15 with Christian Olgin, and we talk about creativity. We talk about creativity and how, she tells a lot of her experiences, and it's one of my favorite episodes personally, just because she works with this. She does guided, intentional meditations and painting sessions in order for you to just paint what you meditated on, and for you to connect more intuitively to your artistic side, to your creative side, and allowing that to flow. So she holds a magnificent supportive space for that, and she's just so wonderful. And she has been actually huge for me in my own personal journey with painting, particularly. She really, it was just a few things here and there, but she kind of opened this big door for me, and just, I don't know, things that I hadn't thought about, just allowing myself to accept the first layer of paint as what it is. It's just the first layer, and then if you don't like it, that is okay, but focus on what you really do like. There has to be something that you like, and so you can enhance that somehow, that little corner that you really did like, and that can change the whole thing. And I was like, wow, this is it affected not just my painting journey, but just my entire life. It's okay, it's a draft. First idea, it can only be what it is. It's a first step, and you can continue on that. You can add another layer, and you can add another layer, and you don't need to be afraid of seeing anything as a mistake, because everything can be just paint it on, or you can, do things that, as long as the process is fun, while the process is being fun, there's like no way that you're not going to create something beautiful, no matter what it is. And so I just love Chris so much, and we're gonna be working together. And so, yeah, I will be keeping you guys posted on, a group Zoom meeting for all of you who are interested in getting to know know each other, know me, and we can talk, and we can just share our experiences, maybe with the book of Julia Cameron that inspired this podcast, The Artist's Way, or maybe with other books that you have found on creativity, or podcasts, or your projects, your childhood dreams, and how you have been connecting or not to them. We can talk about what stops us, what holds us back, and how can we, see each other in those struggles. I think I feel a little alone here just talking to the mic, and I would love to get to know you. So I will keep you guys posted on that. So please, in order for me to let you know, well, I will let you know through this medium, but you can also connect with me through other ways. So please do that. And well, I also just wanted to talk. I have so many ideas, guys. Like, it's been months, and I've been thinking about where to take this podcast, and creativity just becomes something bigger and bigger in my life all the time. Well, I can let you know that personally, at least on one side, on my personal creative journey, I've been very deep into my singing practice. I have continued that. That was something that I really talked a lot about, or there were a few episodes about that in last year, 2019. I shared a little bit of my experience with just deciding to actually dedicate time and dedicate effort to something that I just really love, and that even though I did not know I could do it, because it was just a lifelong dream for me to write songs and to improvise. And it's something that I only started doing last year. And this year, I've been just writing songs because I learned a few basics also on the piano, so I can accompany myself. Okay, I don't play piano. It's very, very basic ideas. But they allow me to sing along, and that has been huge to me. It's like my 5-year-old self is just thrilled to know that we can do this, we can do this. It's fun, and I'm not gonna lie, I do fall into lots of self-criticism many times, but that is just becoming more controlled. It's becoming more of okay, this is just the way it is. My adult self is going to be saying, oh, this here and this there, I don't like that. And I kind of I have to move fast through the things that I create. It's I'm inspired at one point. Many times I just not even use the piano. I just therapeutically, many times what I do is when I'm flipping out for some reason, I am I'm upset about something and I need some air. I take my phone with the recording app in it, and I go for a walk, and I sing my heart out, No matter what I'm saying, I'm like, whatever. I don't care anymore if people listening to me, this crazy woman recording herself, walking around in nature and like just singing stuff. I do prefer no people around, but if I happen to be in the middle of a creative moment, I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna let the person pass by me and think whatever they want to think, right? So that has been my therapy, literally, because there is this huge energy of anger, for example, or this tremendous energy of sadness or frustration, or, I've also been something that I also wanted to tell you about is my journey with addictions. I have gradually, in the past 2 years, cleared myself out of both cigarettes first and excessive drinking as well. And in the past couple months, I decided to stop smoking weed because it was detrimental for my energy, for my time usage, and it was not good anymore. It had become a dependency. It was not something that I was just enjoying or, like, oh, it's chill. That's how it started. But in the past several years, I was just addicted to it. And I know they say it's not addictive and blah, 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 but it becomes a habit. And it becomes a mental habit as well. And so, with these feelings, when I know many of you out there will understand what this is like. It's like, sure, I'm not smoking right now. And the reason why I'm not even smoking casually is because I really don't want to get back into the cycle, and it's not that I don't think about it. And it's not that I'm not tempted to go and, get a joint. It's so easy to buy these days, at least here in Canada. It's like almost as easy to buy as bread. And so, I would say even easier to buy than bread. And so, like, yeah, it's not easy. And so when dealing with strong emotional disturbance, you really need to transform that energy into something. You need to, or in whatever way that you find useful. For me, it's singing because for some reason, for me, just like bringing all my voice out is such a good release. Just like singing it out loud, it's just such a good release. And I can either use just melody or use words. And when I use words, it's because I'm angry about something and I'm feeling a lot of stuff, and putting it into words and singing, and then listening to yourself. Or I'm talking about me, but I'm sure many singers can probably connect to this. You listen to it, and it's like, oh wow, something beautiful came out of this garbage that I was carrying around, this heaviness that I was carrying around that wasn't really letting me breathe, and I was just collapsing emotionally. But I took it and I transmuted it into something beautiful. And it's beautiful because it's real. It's beautiful because it's connected to your truth. It's beautiful because it shows your true emotions, and it's vulnerable and it's honest, right? And it's a creation. It's a baby, right? And many times I need to move from them quickly so I don't start like criticizing or feeling like, oh, like when then you have this adult point of view on it, might as well just take distance from it and not I've heard this from a few people. My husband Tim also with his own creations. He's musician, and many times he finds the need to, like, okay, he created something and then he doesn't listen to it for a while, because if you listen, I mean, listening to it immediately feels for him that the inner critic just like too easily comes and kicks in. And but when you listen to it, when he listens to it further ahead in time, it's like, oh wow, that's very nice. I like that. Yeah. And so creativity has truly been a therapy for me. And creativity does not only limit itself to art, and something that I always try to push in my podcast. This year, particularly, guys, and here, like, I come a little bit as an astrologer. This year has shown us so much about the world that is screwed up. That was always there, maybe. That was maybe kind of under the surface a little bit. That was maybe just a part of our society, but that was not fully visible or seen or acknowledged, at least not by the majority of people. And this year has just become just, the lid has been lifted, and now there's so many things that we have been talking about all through 2020 about the structures that we have built our society on, the belief systems that we have created, constructs mentally, systematically around. We have lived under very old beliefs around materialism, around segregation, around some people being better than others, around planet Earth being unimportant in our economic formulas of capitalism, about equality, about gender, about race, about money, about our health systems, about the origin of our countries and how they were founded based on murder and torture of groups of people, civilizations that were there before our countries, about the business of war. Yeah, I mean, it's been a tremendous year, a very eye-opening year. And I don't want to get very much into the details of any of these subjects right now, because I could go on for hours. But creativity, how does it fit in this? Well, we need to be creative right now to create a different world. We can see how screwed up everything is and let it be. and just continue to function around it because it feels like it's safe. It feels safe to stay in my patterns of thought, stay in the way that I do business, stay in the way that I treat the planet, and stay in the way that I see myself in this community and in this land. And, or I can open my brains, open my heart, allow myself to be influenced by all these crises in our world, allow myself to be affected, allow myself to be touched by the experiences of other human beings that are right beside me. And feel in my heart, how can I live more in tune with my integrity? How can I be a more real human being, a more authentic human being? How can I be more in tune with what it is to live a good life for me and not what society has been saying for centuries? Is it really materialism that moves me? Or is it actually that I want to see a greener planet? Is it power really that moves me? Or is it that I want to see people living in more equal terms? Is it comfort that really moves me? Or is it that I actually want to see some justice made? Some justice coming. Some karmic justice coming out. So we need to be creative now. It's true, we want a better world. Okay, we agree on that. Okay, you're like, okay, Vanessa, I hear you. I hear you. I'm snatching my fingers. I hear you. But how do we do it? How do we do it? And no one has the answer to that. No one has the answer to that. And a lot of what I'm saying comes from, of course, it's my mental, how do I call it? Soup. But part of the ingredients of the soup are just astrological significations. It's really been a year of transformation and opening our eyes to all this stuff. And really, we've had all sorts of reactions to this. Big part of it has also been practicing to be accepting of the variety, the diversity that we live around. And I'm not just talking about social, racial, cultural, economic diversity. I'm also talking about just diversity in deeper ways as well, and how we feel about these things. Like, it's literally each one of us is a universe, and so we really are being pushed to being more curious and more open. And the future is so uncertain at this point. And so we can actually be just go the secure way, the okay, I'll just do what my parents told me. because, it looks so uncertain that I might as well do something that feels safe. Sure. Okay. Okay. I respect that. Just double check that it goes with your integrity. That this is the most authentic, real self that comes from your heart. Right? And if it's not, and then there's no options, that there's nothing like it, there's nothing like what I am imagining that the world should be, there's nothing like what I am feeling that the world should be, there's no work like the one that I've dreamt of ever doing, well, now is the time, amongst all these changes, now is the time to be creative, right? This is where creativity can help us create a new world. Creativity, being creative, can help you define a new sense of self, a new you. This isn't just about art. Creativity is the essence of the human being. And our creativity has been thwarted. So we need to wake it up now. No one's telling us what to do. And that is a good thing. There's no examples of what to do, and that is a good thing. The blank canvas can be challenging, but it is a tremendous opportunity, right? We can create from the bottom. We can start setting the basis, the pillars, the foundations of something completely different. That, and here I'm just pulling out astrological insight, but this is just starting, like only getting started. And for the next 5, 10, who knows how many more years, we'll be creating and creating and creating. And those who take a step forward now and say, okay, I'm used to the normal, I'm done with the normal. Yes, I'm used to it, but I don't like it anymore, and I want to make a change in this world. Those who do that are going to be the new leaders of tomorrow, are going to be the new teachers of tomorrow, are going to be the new mentors, the next elders, the next wise people, the new business people, the new leaders, the new politicians, who knows, maybe, it's coming, like it's, we are definitely moving into a different world. So might as well use this time to really connect to who you really are. And so if you're still struggling with expressing your creativity, just realize that that's only a few baby steps that will help you. Like if you are the artistic side, the exploring your artistic side without fear and in a supportive, safe space, exploring that and opening yourself to that, and discovering where your fears and traumas basically come from, that will open the door to you being able to be much more true, a much more authentic and true and real human being. It's like art is just a tool. This is something that we talked with Chris in that episode that she was mentioning, that I was like, wow, that's so wise. I was just shocked. I was shocked at her wisdom. But yeah, art is just a tool, right? That it ends up opening up your creativity to be authentic in your life, and it opens up the possibility for you creating your life in terms of how you want to live your lifestyle, in terms of the work you want to be doing, in terms of your daily experiences. Like, we are creators, every single human being. being more aligned with your truth. That is ultimately the goal. To your essence, to your purpose, so you can live a truly fulfilling and happy life. Taking the mask off. We no longer really need masks, which is ironic. I'm talking about, of course, not the COVID masks, although I really don't like them and I find it kind of ironic. I don't know what you guys think about it. It's just not ironic, but it's just like strange that you can like sit down and take it off. I don't know. I'm sure someone that knows the science of the mask and how it works can explain to me why it actually makes sense to enter a restaurant with your mask or a cafe, and then as soon as you sit down you take it off, and I'm like, what was the point anyways? I don't know, I just don't get it, but whatever. Yeah, we don't need to be wearing masks anymore. Sure, we are living a time with a lot of restriction, lots of rules and censorship. But at the same time, this is exactly the time when we need to be more real and authentic. And if you feel like not wearing a mask, I have friends that are just like, you know what, I don't want to wear a mask and I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, cool. I wish I was as brave as you. I do put on I'm talking about the COVID one, not the like symbolic hiding yourself behind a false identity mask that I was just talking about. I'm talking now the COVID one. But yeah, I do put it on and off, and I don't know, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable around me, you know, but if it was for me, I'm like, what we need is fresh air. Like, what we need is fresh air. And I just don't think it's fair that a lot of people are, and kids at school are wearing their mask all day. I think it's very, just not good for your health. That's just my personal opinion. If we really want to keep ourselves healthy, there are other ways. But anyway, I kind of diverged. Yes, and I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, for being here. If you have come to the end of the episode already, I really appreciate it. I hope this was inspiring. I am only trying to figure out what I'm doing with this podcast, and I can't wait to hear from you, honestly, and I will let you all know when the Zoom call will happen. I'm excited about that. I really am. And I want to invite you all. And just please, hit me with a message, send me an email, just like tell me what have been your experiences this year versus like other years. Where are you in your creative journey? And if you want, only if you want, I want to like leave something for reflection, something that you can journal about, you know. I just want to ask you for your reflection. And if you feel like sharing, please do, in wherever platform, you know, we're in, you know, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I think that's where you can write stuff. SoundCloud also, but SoundCloud has only the latest episodes. It doesn't have everything because I'm not going to be paying for both accounts. And so, please, if you want to, I just want to leave you with this question. How can I be my most authentic self in these times of change? That's it. How can you be your most authentic self in these times of change? And see what comes up. Okay. Sending you all a big hug. Hoping you are doing well. Hoping you're staying safe. Stay blessed. Stay creative. Be fearless. Be courageous. And I'll see you on the next one.